What dire warning from your parents turned out to be bullshit. People are going to push you to smoke cigarettes. Everyone I've ever met who smokes and offers me a cigarette says the same thing when I tell them I don't smoke. Good for you. I wish I didn't. True, normally when we offer it's force of habit from hanging with someone who does smoke. If you say no, I'm not pushing you to start. Darts are expensive, man. I'll offer to be nice, but I'm secretly hoping you say no. Turning on the lights in the car while driving is illegal. Parents say that because they are tired of kids asking to have the lights on. My parents just said they couldn't see properly with the lights on, which I have no reason to doubt, because it does reflect back off the windscreen. It'll also fill your vision with light in the foreground, which is not exactly optimal for seeing at distance in the dark. Also construct your pupils, making it harder to see in the dark. You must construct additional pupils. I brought you into this world. I can take you out was my mother's favorite saying, but she never even spanked my ass. She's the sweetest lady ever. My old gaffer's favorite line was, "Don't piss me off, boy, you're not irreplaceable. I made you. I can make another one just like you." My aunt said that to my cousin when he was like 8 years old. The little dipshit replied, "Won't that just double your problem?" My aunt just stood there bewildered by the sass and realizing he's actually right. My parents are Korean, so fan death. When I leave my fan on at night, I feel so alive. What is fan death? In Korean culture, some people believe that fans rob rooms of oxygen, and if you fall asleep with a fan on, you'll suffocate. Almost every fan in Korea has a fan with a built-in timer for that reason. WTF. When we would go to the beach, I would never want to get out of the water, so my mom told me that staying in the water too long would make me waterlogged. She said she could look into my eyes and see the level of water in my system. If the water raised above my iris, that meant I had to get out and let the water drain before I would drown. I believed this for far too long. I was swimming with a friend and we had a track meet the next day. Her dad hollered out to us, "Don't get waterlogged." She said we could soak up too much water and be heavier when we raced the next day. When you press the red button with the triangle in the car, all the doors fall off. I'm so using this. I laughed so hard at this mental image that my two choices in life were either Harvard or McDonald's. Sheesh. Bit of a grey area in between those two extremes. So, can I get fries with that? You may get fries with your master's degree. Watching the TV will give you square eyes. When I was 4 years old, I took a mirror down with me whenever I went to watch TV to ensure my eyes had not gone square. 20 years later, they're still round. Complete bullshit. But if you had square eyes, square things would look round. You wouldn't be able to tell. How high are you? Fine, thank you. Hi, how are you? Hi AF, mate. You can't eat steak that is pink on the inside. That's how you get sick. Believe this till I was about 19, until I learned that it pretty much can be as red in the center as you like so long as it's properly seared. Turned out my mom just didn't like rare steak and felt uncomfortable making it for me and my sister. So she just lied. If the steak isn't black, it's raw. According to my mom. To be fair, I would never have got into leather work if it wasn't for my mother's inability to cook steak. That literally any college degree would be a guaranteed job, and the only way to get a job. I graduated in 2008, by the way. I was always skinny growing up, even though a lot of my family is overweight. I also had no interest in physical activities. My parents always used to tell me that if I didn't exercise I'd start getting fat by the time I was 25. Jokes on them. I didn't start putting on weight until I was 30. If I cross my eyes, they might end up staying like that. Edit. Disclaimer. Some comments I've received believe this to be true. I'm no expert, but did a quick Google search which also said it was a myth. Cross your eyes at your own risk. I'm cross-eyed. Might tell that to my kids. That if I used one brand of shampoo and a different brand of conditioner, that my hair would fall out. Also, when I was 5 or 6, I asked what would happen if you went the opposite way that you turned the turn signal. My mom told me the car would explode and kill us. Not sure why she told me that shit. Because it was hilarious to watch the rising panic in your eyes as she signaled right, then twitched the wheel left. Every rice left on your plate would be a new pimple on your face. Don't leave any food on your plate. Don't you know there's kids starving in Africa? Mom. There's kids starving in America. Africa doesn't have monopoly on poverty. My Grammy told me eat all your food because there are children dumpster diving. I intentionally threw food away after that because I wanted to make sure the children had good food to eat. If you unscrew your belly button, your bum will fall off. I did my best to avoid screwdrivers for a large part of my childhood because I lacked the willpower not to stuff them into my belly button. I was terrified at the thought of losing my bum but intrigued by the possibility. People who disobey their parents end up in prison. I mean, if your parents tell you don't go to prison and you disobey them. Sniffling kills brain cells. I didn't sniff or snort, even during colds, because I was terrified I would lose my brain cells. Turns out my mom thinks sniffling is annoying and didn't want to hear it. People you meet on the internet are swindlers or serial killers. Overall, the amount of people who are out there to get me and should be feared all day round was severely exaggerated. That explains some of my social problems, I guess. As a people on the internet, I'm offended. I haven't swindled or serial killed anyone in years. That if I kept picking my nose, my head would cave in. This can happen if you get bored of using your fingers and use an automatic drill instead. My mom would always tell me, take that lock off your face or it will freeze like that when I was little. I took that as fact. I really wanted dimples like my friend down the street, so I would sit in my room with pencil erasers pushed into my cheeks forever. No dimples still. I would be unemployable if I didn't learn cursive handwriting. Parents and teachers made me think that every job interview would have a cursive test in which they would measure the loops on the L's or something. The world should have ended in 2012. You mean again? It already ended in 2000. Y2K got me. Your passion and talent for art, games, web design and photo manipulation won't make you any money. Go to college for something that will get you an actual career, like psychology. I graduated high school in 2007. I wanted to go to a particular college of art and design for game design or industrial and product design. But I listened to their advice instead. They were very wrong. Whoever told you psychology makes money should be slapped. That's never been true, LOL. If you play too many video games, you'll have to get little braces on your fingers. Mom, the kid at the cash register at the grocery store had them because he played too many video games. You won't walk around life with a calculator in your pocket. Watching TV will turn your brains into mush. I thought they meant literally. Boys only want one thing from girls. Be careful in high school. That's all the boys will want to do. Turns out the one thing all the boys I hung out with wanted from me was a turn at playing Pokemon on my Game Boy. Boys only want one thing from girls. To be the very best. Like no one ever was. If you get in trouble at school, it will go on your permanent record and ruin your life. Not once has anyone from college admissions to prospective employers to loan officers so much as mentioned the legendary permanent record. Don't get married, you'll regret it. Turns out they're both just assholes who can't get along with anyone. The only thing colleges care about now is which extracurricular activities you're in. So if you don't participate in any, you can just forget about going to college. I never played any sports and never participated in a single club or extracurricular activity and got accepted to every single college I applied to. Don't switch jobs too often. Employers will think you have no loyalty. Employers will lay you off without any hesitation if they can. There is no reason to give an organization your loyalty if you get none in return. If you go to that wedding, they will turn you into a lesbian. Jokes on her. I was already sleeping with girls at that point. Oral sex is dangerous and not pleasurable for either party. Oh my, how very wrong this statement was. Dungeons and Dragons is for devil worshippers. I'm now one of the many nerds devil worshipping. If you fap too much, you'll grow hair on hands and God will be disappointed. Don't sleep with socks, you'll become blind. Don't talk to strangers on the internet. Work hard now and your future will be sorted. You'll never get a real job if you have tattoos/piercings. I have tattoos, piercings and blue hair. I'm also a highly employable medical professional. Highly employable, so not currently employed. F. If you don't wear your seatbelt low across your hips, if the car stops suddenly, your seatbelt will push all your organs out of your body through your mouth. Thanks for telling me that as a 6-year-old dad. That didn't fuck me up at all. Never get in a car with a stranger. Joke's on you, mom. I've got an app on my phone now to tell strangers I want to get in their car. My parents tried to get me to stop smoking pot as a teenager for fear that I would live in their house until I was 30. I have worked in the legal marijuana industry for 5+ years now, and have made more money in that time than both of my parents have in their entire lives. Did you move out yet though? Jokes on the parents. OP bought the parents' house and they moved elsewhere. You have to wait 2 hours after you eat to swim. If you don't, you'll sink. Your theater degree will be useless. Bitch, I'm such a good actor. I have bullshitted my way into every job I've ever had. Faked it till I made it. And without my actor training that never would have happened. I'm doing just fine. Don't eat raw cookie dough or you will get worms in your brain. I realized later it was just to keep us from eating it on her while she baked. Took me a while to be able to fully enjoy cookie dough ice cream without her voice in the back of my mind. Thanks, Mom. My mom spent my entire childhood telling me not to write/draw on my skin because I would get ink poisoning. I now have a bunch of tattoos and haven't been poisoned yet. Drugs are easy to come by and will be offered to you at every turn. Bullshit. I tell my parents I get offered drugs like on a daily basis just so they can see how responsible I am. LMAO. They bought me a car for being such a good person. I don't feel an ounce of remorse. Don't stand in front of the microwave or you'll get paralyzed. You have been visited by the smart studying doggo. You'll be blessed with good grades only if you subscribe to Comment Awards and like the video. PG! On top, food chain, won't stop, new game, hot box that blue haze, 1 lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes, mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view, 5 cops, food race, faster than a Tesla, they say I'm exhausted.